What's up, YouTube? Back again, part two of the grand finals format library tournament. And we're back again. Keegan versus Jazz. If you haven't watched the first video, definitely go check that out. Should be in one of our most recent videos. So Keegan was able to win the first set with his
Spoiler
fairy deck.
alert! Spoiler alert! Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
that's why we're going to the bracket reset set where.
Well, you should be watching in sequential order. Anyone who watches these things out of order, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Where's the suspense in your life?
Exactly. Honestly, there's one thing that we should mention before we get into this match. This tournament was fucking long. It was 9 hours long, and Jazz and I have been playing sets like the whole time. So in this set particular, you might see some stuff. All right, you might see some stuff. And how would you put it, James? How would you put this kind of stuff?
Some fatigued player stuff. Some late night basement backroom dueling stuff.
Yeah, this is like
both players are feeling each other out, feeling the vibes, misreading the vibes, misunderstanding
completely
vibes.
fucking shit up, missing lethal, just straight up misplaced. There's gonna be some messy shit in this specific set because we're just exhausted. I'm starving.
It's not clean.
He's tired.
It's definitely not clean, but it's kind of beautiful in its own way.
We don't condone this type of play, but if you're playing like this in grand finals and there's a bunch of people watching, it's kind of hype. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so he wins the RPS here, which already I'm like, that's big. And then I see my hand, and my hand is
that's a power play.
My hand is pretty bad. I know that a lot of people like think that this is like a good hand, but it
was worse in game one, set one. So
yeah, it was. So
you're moving on up.
It's a pretty bad hand.
How good is Gores in this hand?
It's terrible. This is the worst. This is the worst Gores I've ever seen.
Good to know.
It's the worst Gores I've ever seen because this deck also never attacks me. And so I side out Gores. I've also mentioned in the previous video that I'm siding out Oppression, and I'm siding out one copy of Gores
after this tournament.
Yes, it won me a lot of games.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I would still main Gores.
Just checking.
It's just this matchup I sided out because they never attack you. So I'm like, all right.
Card is garbage. Let's go. You swing into the hamster. Just
Gores slander aside, I say fuck hamster. I can't deal with that. My hand can't deal with that.
Yeah, dude. We've had these other conversations where like hamster's not a big deal at all. You have to herald that every time.
Not every time. There are some times where I can just be like, all right, that's fine. Like if my hand's like Recruiter, like DD Warrior Lady, whatever, I'm chilling. Whatever. But my hand fucking sucks. He's never attacking me. So Mirror Force and Gores are dead cards. These are just dead cards. Like I'm gonna win this game if his hand is full of quick draws and I have Royal Oppression.
Yeah, you got.
He had this fucking shit turn one. I didn't even know he had Battle Fader turn one. That's gonna come up later. We don't need to talk about it. He had a turn one. Holy shit. Okay. I set Royal Oppression because it's my only. It's only my
riding the suppression to victory seems like a good strat.
I hit Heavy Storm, which is awful.
Do you ever just set Mirror Force there? Like if on turn one, I mean, like if you, because I feel like you can only win this game on oppression. So
no, I'm never
have another Raikou in hand. He's gonna Raikou it next turn. Like
I thought he would Raikou it next turn, but he doesn't. He leaves it in play, and I fucking lose.
Right.
We'll get to that. Okay, so he mills Shell, and now I know his hand's double Shell because he doesn't pay.
Luckily, he draws double Shell. And
then, so we have equally shit hands, and he does play into the oppression.
Of like, did he forget the Shell? Did he not realize he milled it? But then I think you pretty quickly realized that Jazz would not do that.
Yeah. Turn one, he maybe didn't expect me to set the oppression, maybe expected me to set more of a like battle trap or something, but I did nail the nail the Lone Fire, which is great. Now his hand is like virtually garbage, and my hand's actually great until this prison. I mean, like this just this is but he doesn't use it, which is really interesting. I don't understand.
We're on some parallel dimension shit in this game.
Yeah, if he deprisoned my Shining Angel, I probably would have lost this game much sooner. But his hand has nothing to. He has no follow-up play, so I guess
he takes a lot of damage and like lets you do a bunch of shit before he kills your cards. I remember in this game specifically, but anyway, we'll let it. He pops the non-oppression, and which makes sense. I mean, he was holding double Shell. He had nothing that was being negated by oppression. He had the fader, but
he's also under virtually zero pressure. And this stops
Yeah,
me from doing like Christia stuff, which is what will kill him. So I
for
get
sure.
it.
I get it. I definitely get it. But here's the thing: is that like he's gonna have to kill the oppression. I mean, like unlike your deck, his deck like basically can't win if the oppression is on the board.
This is true. And I do get
Basically, I
fortunate.
would
I
say
do get
basically.
fortunate. Well, I believe both of these Raikos mill in Avarice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's down 2 Avarice.
and he drew double shell.
As you see, this
I would say you're getting really lucky.
this is gonna come up later, but we don't need to talk about that, right?
So this
So
is sort of like, but
here
this
he
is why it's
does.
interesting because like he didn't have that debris yet, but he still wasn't popping the oppression, and like whether he was sort of like knowingly playing towards this end game of like leaving oppression on the board and stalling out with debris or not, like that is what ends up working out, or at least in the
We
short.
had a game similar to this in winners finals where he played this sort of really passive fashion and wanted to wall me out and just control the game state and then out resource me late game with triple Avarice. But now that he's already
Yeah,
milled 2 Avarice,
right.
he can't exactly make that same game plan.
But
Like
I would still find it hard to justify popping the oppression if I have nothing that's being negated by oppression. You know, like that's still. But
yeah,
even there, like right, like he could have set the Raiko, popped the oppression, and he has debris. By this point, he has debris.
I don't know, but by this time I've actually drawn all right
Harold,
out of my hand. Like my hand's all right. It's chilling, you know? And
what's in Jazz's grave right now? Can I see?
yeah, he's got a shell, Sangan. One Caius is gone, which is pretty
Well, he
big for
doesn't
me.
have a dandelion, so I guess that is some consideration as far
He
as that debris.
doesn't. He did have Lone Fire, and I don't know if he had Trooper or not, but hey, I don't
He
know.
did. I mean, he'd had trooper the
I think
previous
this
turn.
game would have gone very differently had he popped the oppression. I think it would have been really
I think the game would have
interesting.
gone differently if he prisoned the angel way earlier.
I think he just fucking knew I had Gorge somehow, and I don't know how he knew, but I think he knew, and it
Yeah,
fucking yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I keep saying, I understand not popping the oppression, but like, it's gonna have to happen at some point, And like, and this is your third Raiko, so
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And he only has 1 Avarice left. And he's getting
exactly.
kind of
So it's
he's
like,
already below 20 cards in, like he's almost at 10
yes.
cards in
So
deck.
it's like, well, how many more outs do you really have with the oppression, bro?
Yeah. So the Raiko is going to target I don't know what the Raiko targets here, but I think I herald it. I don't remember. Oh, no, I don't.
See this is why I keep getting so confused because
He
I
didn't
remember watching this game. It's like, well, how are you actually gonna win?
he also has
Like,
torrential. So like why is he hitting the shining I don't
I don't really get
understand.
it.
So I don't summon the Nova Summoner here, which I think in hindsight was like fatigue. I should have just summoned it.
Yeah,
Because
you should
this
just set it. I mean, just to keep the clock up.
I actually should have summoned it because I don't want him to be able to attack over it with something. Oh no, actually, yeah, I should have said it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I should have said it. And I'm
What are you
looking to
talking about?
use I'm looking to use Christio with the Herald anyway. So I don't know why I didn't play here. That was a mistake.
Well, no, you summoned the warrior lady. That was why. That was
Oh,
why.
that's why. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that I used the Warrior Lady on the debris. It's been a long tournament and a long game for me, and I'm rewatching just game 1 of this. So he does hit.
Feeling
He does
fatigued
hit.
just watching it.
He does hit his third Avarice. He puts back Caius.
He
2
hits
of
his
the
third outburst. He
Raikos
draws both of the
outs to Cold
oppression
Wave,
outs that were still in his deck.
but he has 3 set now. So
That's
I'm
true.
like, okay. If he storms here, I'm getting a 4 for 1. But if he doesn't, I'm winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's storming.
Yeah.
But that cold wave could be pretty dangerous, I feel.
Here I do summon the
Actually.
Nova Summoner. It eats the Torrential. I still would make that play in the dark because
Yeah, sure.
trading Nova Summoner for
That's fine.
for a Torrential at this point is really good. It dodges his second bottomless.
I
And
mean,
this is game 1 again.
If he's
remember?
low on outs to oppression, and you know that his outs left in deck or in hand are Storm Cold Wave, then you just got to pressure him quickly and hope you keep drawing monster.
Yes. I'm looking at his traps. I know he has 1 bottomless left because it's game 1. I know he has 1 deep prison left.
Yes,
Oh no, he doesn't. He has no deep prisons. He has 1 bottomless and he has solemn.
I
So
was looking at this too. I mean, it's so few traps, so it's just you got to press through.
yeah, and I have a play here that I
Do
know.
you think it's ever? Are you sure about setting the bottomless there?
Yeah, because
Are you
like
sure about
these are totally like, if he wants to do anything to me, it has to involve Caius at this point, and bottomless is gonna hit the Caius. So that's where I'm at.
And you scores though.
That's only if he doesn't Caius one of his own cards. He could Caius one of his. I'm not even kidding. He could Caius one of his own cards, leave the oppression in play, and I would lose.
Okay. Wouldn't
So
you just
like,
herald it then?
Am I really gonna
Alright, anyway, yeah,
herald a
doesn't matter,
Caius
doesn't matter.
target his own card? Am I really gonna herald that? Like, am I
I don't
that?
know. Maybe.
Is that crazy? No, but this play is I do set the bottom list because I also
I don't
think
think it's
that
bad. I just yeah.
I think that he still has one Lone Fire Titanial, and I know that he still has Storm Wave Typhoon, so he can always like Typhoon Oppression,
Yeah,
make a
definitely.
Lone Fire Titanial, and I'm getting kind of low. Like I'm not
You are
like
getting low.
I'm like 2 Titanial hits or 2 Caius hits away from being like in Caius range. So I'm like, okay, this is a little sus. I better put some more defense. Here, I know he has bottomless Solemn, so I set the DD Warrior Lady. And I know he's going to attack because it's game one, and he knows I have 3 Raikos, which I haven't played any of, I don't believe.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so he's gonna read a Raiko. So I know he's going to attack.
All right. Heads up play here. Why do you banish this?
What do you mean? Because if he has Caius main phase 2, I get fucked.
You herald it?
I guess. I just think it's better to just get his Sangan out of here and not let him search. Because if he searches, he still has. I think right now that he has 2 more Debris Dragons and a Lone Fire that gets
Right.
Titanial. And I know he has at least 1 out to Oppression in his hand. So I'm like, okay.
Why do you know that?
Because he has 5
'Cause-
cards in his hand and there's like 6 outs to Oppression in his deck. Like, there's.
Well, I think it's actually just those 3. I mean,
No, he
I
also
can
has.
understand how you would make that determination if he wasn't popping the oppression with the Raiko.
Yeah,
just-
it is statistically likely,
Let's be-
and
let's
based
be
off the
accurate,
way,
you know?
based off the way he's playing, I think banishing the Sangan is the right play.
I just think that
Because
not and then switching it to attack seems okay. Wait, check the grave again.
he still has yeah,
So he
I
has both
guess.
sides. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was just playing around Caius and I was like, yeah, I
I
know
get
he
it,
I
I
know he
get
has
it.
some Caius left. I was trying to run him out of resources and then do something. But my fucking
Yeah,
heavy
it's just-
storm is gone, so I only have Typhoon as an out to my Royal
Yeah.
Oppression. Which is like really awkward that like against the deck that Royal Oppression beats.
Trooper is a good draw for him, but also it puts him at a low deck count.
Yeah, which is really good for me. So I'm like, he has to mill, and I have to negate this, or else I'm gonna lose this game, basically.
Yeah.
And if he draws a card, that's actually looking good for me, because he has no Avarice. He has 8 cards left in deck now. If this is a Raiko, and I can force it to flip, he's at 5 cards in deck, and I'm like, holy shit, am I actually gonna win from deck out?
Right, for sure.
So I draw a Raiko.
Because yeah, he put back all the Raikos, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah, he put back 2 Raikos. So
Yeah, exactly. So any of those, especially if they're in the last,
Yeah.
whatever 5 cards, those are just gonna fuck him.
he ends up setting the Typhoon. I miss a 50-50 here. I knew one of his first sets was Solemn. I knew one of these
Okay.
2 was Solemn because of the way he was playing the game. And
Okay,
I knew
sure.
that the old ones were not Solemn because he would have set them a lot earlier. So I miss a 50-50 with the Raiko, which I think it comes up, actually, in this game. I think it does come up.
Do you do attack with Raiko here? Okay.
Yeah, because I figured it was Raiko or Shell, and if it's Raiko and I can force the mill, oh, baby. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
definitely attack with Raiko here.
Do you ever summon the Honest here and swing?
Maybe. I hadn't considered
Well,
that.
if it's Raiko, yeah, that's bad. Okay,
I
never
think
mind.
keeping the Honest in my hand,
Yeah,
and
I
then
think it's a
like
little surprise factor,
protecting my Raiko, it ends up getting dust shooted on a later turn. You'll see because he still has dust shoot. Here, I write out what I think he still has in his deck. I know he has at least 1 Debris, and I know he still has the 2 Raiko because he's shuffled them back. I know he has Wave Storm, Solemn, Dust Shoot, and 1 Bottomless. What card is this?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's the
turns out
Dust Shoot.
he only plays 2 Debris, so there's only 1 left.
Yeah, but I
But
did
that's
say
just-
I did say that there was also later on. I'll write in the chat that there's Lone Fire, 2 Dandy, 1 Caius, and 2 Unknown. Is my
Yeah.
I don't know the last 2 cards in his deck, and you're gonna see one of
So
them.
here you
Fuck
you
me.
hit the thing,
Yes.
which I think is correct, because you just want to keep him off monsters, because the only okay, can we just pause for a sec? Because
Yeah. Let's talk
like
about
we're
this.
saying the ways that you win are deck out seems pretty likely, because then like on the flip side, what are the ways that Jazz actually wins this game? And it's literally like one specific sequence where he's able to Cold Wave, or put a monster on the board, Cold Wave you, drop Caius so you can't bottomless it, banish whatever, banish a monster, hit for 24. You can't, like, the world in which you brick the following turn and like can't set a monster, and then if he has like any other monster to normal summon, then that would be lethal.
Okay,
And
so
like
here's my thought process on this, right?
yeah,
Here's my thought process. The way he wins this game is Cold Wave Caius is stage 1. That's turn 1, right? Caius banishes my dude. He gets him for 24, right? The following turn, I'm forced to play a guy. Right? So I play a guy. He goes Heavy Storm, make Black Rose, switch my guy to attack, and then do that.
Because you still think he has more debris. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I have like
kind of the same thing. Either way. I mean,
yeah. That's this is how I know he wins the game. This is how I know he wins the game. So he can win through Gore's oppression, whatever. He still has Wave Storm.
Yes.
He can win this game. And I don't know about fucking Battle Fader. So I need to keep monsters out of play, like you said, right?
This is just an important inflection point, I think, because it's such a low resource and kind of unique game that like both players really just have to sit and think about like, what am I actually trying to do here? What is my opponent trying to do? How can I prevent that? And yeah, if you're Jazz, I think you have to be pretty aware that that is the way you win. So
yeah, and here I do try to negate the tokens because I'm like, okay, you have to out
I think
this.
that's worth.
And then here I also summon the Raikou because, like we said, I cannot let him keep a monster in play. So I need to kill these tokens.
I think that's worth as well.
Yeah. One thing I'm gonna mention though before all this is Jazz and I played 5 games, and this is the 6th game we've played, right? I have not seen Battle Fader in any of our sets, so I do not know he plays that card. This is like the ultimate surprise factor, the ultimate Gotham moment, and I want you to know that like I actually don't know what's in this deck.
Why'd you do this? This
was a straight up mistake. We don't need to talk about this.
Okay.
This was just a mistake.
All right.
I was thinking I needed to do it in the case that I don't know why I was thinking this. I was just high as fuck. No, I wasn't high. I was so fucking tired, dude.
Still?
His set is solemn. I know one of them's solemn. I know one of them's bottomless, and I don't know why I did this. Why did I do this?
I don't know. See, this was bad because like
what was I thinking about? Oh, I was thinking he had the 3rd quick draw. I was thinking if he goes 3rd quick draw Caius, I need to be able to stop this main phase. I can't let him quick draw. Okay, yeah. I can't let him quick draw Dandy. Quick draw Dandy fucks me. I needed to do this.
Well, you would chain the call to the Dandy effect, and then you would leave him with the quick draw.
But then he could Caius the Christian.
You could bottom the...
Yeah, okay. I don't know. This was just a mistake, but this is one of those fatigue things. We've played a game where we've played literally every card in our deck, and I'm just like, I'm tunnel visioning. I lose to quick draw Dandelion. Like, that's going to fuck me up.
But it just made this last... Well, I think also 2 quick draws are engraved, no?
Yeah, he plays 3.
Oh, okay.
I know he plays 3.
Well, this is just also this is why this game is so funny, because, like, now that you had the live call, the Haunted, if you played it correctly, I think it was impossible for him to win.
Well,
like, there was a couple things that had to go wrong or right or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know about that because he still has
a solemn. He might have just solemned it at whatever point.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is if you use it as a chain like 2, then obviously it dodges the bottomless that you knew that he probably had.
This is a fatigue. This was a fatigue play. This is obviously an incorrect play. This is very much.
No, we don't need to dwell on it, but it's just like because we've already defined the last like couple turns of how he can win. It's just like interesting that it took this turn. I don't know how else to say it. Like
exactly. So here he summons Lone Fire and attacks over my Raikou. He has no more Lone Fire targets. Well, actually, he has 1 Dandelion left, so he could Lone Fire here into Dandelion.
Is one Dandelion banished?
No, right?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
He could have Lone Fire to Dandelion.
Second oppression.
Here, right? Yeah, but I don't play 2, and he knows that. Like, he has my deck list.
Right.
And then he doesn't solemn my Angel, which is.
He's maybe thinking that you're gonna swing direct with the Raikou, and then that's gonna set him. Like he doesn't. He needs. Maybe he's thinking that you have your own solemn, and he needs that Cold Wave to walk.
this was a series of unfortunate draws. I should have won this game by deck out, but I misplayed the call, and then I make this horrible error into a card that I don't even isn't even on my radar. I attack directly with Raiko, and then he summons Fader, and then it's all downhill.
It just was never
then he
gonna
hits.
be worth it.
Then he has the Wave Caius, which is exactly what we talked about. Is the sequence that wins him the game.
Yep.
And I have one draw step to out it, and I don't hit it.
Wave Caius, you don't draw a monster.
Yeah, and here I'm so fatigued.
Also,
I forget. What's up?
You had paid 8 from the oppression earlier.
I had to pay that 8.
You were
though.
51. Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
for
to
sure.
pay that 8. So, and the issue is here, I'm like so tired. I even set under wave, and they're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
but it didn't end up mattering.
And he had the solemn. Even if you solemn back, like he would just solemned it.
Yeah.
So like in a weird way, I think it was kind of good for him to keep the solemn. But yeah, like what a clusterfuck of a game.
That was such a fucking insane game. And honestly, like after this, I'm just like, I'm so tired. I'm so turned up. I'm like, I'm just gonna bring in all my boys. I'm gonna bring in double Cyber Dragon, double Banisher, and I'm just gonna try to win the game as fast as possible. Cause like we're both tired. We're both playing like well, but terribly. Like not great. You know, like we're still here to win.
We both made some good plays, but also a bunch of bad plays.
Yeah, like, but at the same time, like, holy shit, that game was fatiguing, and I'm just like, okay, and my starting hand's actually fucking fantastic this game. The only thing I'm gonna lose to this game is like specifically like brain control and I don't know. This is just a really great. My trap is a Typhoon.
So walk me through why it's DD Warrior Lady here.
Okay, I summoned DD Warrior Lady because in the off chance he left in bottomless, that means it's safe through bottomless. And it also, if his set is like Dandelion or a Debris Dragon or a Botanical Lion or a Cyber Dragon, I want the DD Warrior Lady in play. The only reason I don't want DD Warrior Lady in play is specifically Raiko, but well, I'm basically every other monster in the game, like Titanial, whatever, it makes me want DD Warrior Lady in play. And I wanna be able to summon it before there's a bottomless. Like I need this to get banished to turn on my DL, and I need it to get under torrential bottomless, that sort of thing. Solemn. Like this is the one I need to resolve with my hand. Does that make sense? Also, keeping all these fairies in my hand gives me the most options with Herald.
Sure.
Well, there's no other reason to summoning any of these other monsters I can do on a later turn. I don't need to summon them.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
this is the best. This is the best one to summon when there's no back row. This is just like an experience thing. If you play this deck, you'll know.
Okay.
And setting the back row will make him like think twice about attacking into it. So Typhoon
Well, that's
Typhoon.
the thing. Like you're talking about bottomless, but it's like you have the MST. Like, aren't you always just?
No, I'm not blind.
I mean,
I'm not blind Typhooning. Always. I actually, if he goes, I know, I said always, but I'm saying if he goes monster set 2 traps, I'm not blind Typhooning Emphase, because if that's a Raiko,
sure,
I can get a chain. Yeah, like it's not.
But then it's like, if Warrior Lady eats the bottomless, doesn't that just set up for your Alchemist also?
It can, but I would like, if he has Dandelion, that slows his hand so much.
Yeah.
I need the DD Warrior Lady to hit the Dandelion. Like I need this effect to resolve. For this hand to win, I need this effect to resolve. Does that make sense?
For sure. I like understand the generalities of like why you would summon that first.
It's better than summoning any of these other cards except maybe Alchemist. Maybe. Here he goes set Typhoon. I know he has Gores, because this is like, you don't have 5 cards and nothing to play besides Typhoon. And the Typhoon is a bait for Gores. You see my back row. You see you having a Typhoon.
Okay. That's a good
yeah.
assumption.
So what I'm thinking about here is like, what am I going to do about Gores? And I'm like, again, I need my DD Warrior Lady to press through a Dandelion. I need it. So like, this is my thought. I'm like, if he can slow me down at any point in this game, and like, I'm trying to out-tempo him right now, which I know his game 2 plan now is Vanity's Fiend, and I know he sides out quick draws. So I'm like, he doesn't have speed. I can actually out-tempo him. So I summon Dialk, and I'm like, this is the most pressure. I attack with Dialk first, because I want him to think. I actually want him to use the Gores here, because I want him to think I'm gonna use the DD Warrior Lady.
Do you think that it's ever summon the Alchemist no effect attack?
No, I want damage. It's never no effect. Because I've already made a
summon Alchemist. no effect attack first, and then if he drops the Gores, you would just not attack with Warrior Lady. Like, and if he
No,
drops the Gores there, you
no,
banish
you
Gores
don't.
with
You don't
Warrior Lady.
understand my game plan. You don't understand my game plan. My game plan is I'm gonna herald the Gores. I want to bait him into using the Gores so I can herald it and I can out tempo him. I want to have like 3 guys in play on the next turn to his 1, and I just want to kill him. I know his sideboard plan is really slow, and I know that this is gonna play into Mirror Force. This is gonna play into everything pretty well. And I figured if he had Mirror Force, he would have said it or something.
Don't you like not really want to herald the Gores?
No, I do. Like, you don't understand. This is a tempo plan. Because of his sideboard plan, this is how I want to play the game. And this lets me get in the most damage. I have an Honest, which is guaranteed damage later on. Like, I have a really good pressure, and nothing outs his pressure from his deck game too. Except for Force, but even that's like, if he had it, he probably would have played it that turn. Like, I don't see why you would not play Force. Like, I feel like his hand is fairly weak, and I feel like I can out tempo it because he didn't play. Like, look, because he didn't use his normal summon, he's behind a normal summon. Because he didn't play a sweeper, he's behind even more. Because I can herald his Gores and keep him on the back foot even more. Maybe he has Vanity's Fiend Caius. Like, maybe he has multiple tributes in his hand. Maybe he has Avarice. Maybe he has cards he can't like get active. You know, like this is definitely.
If he just
play.
sets like a Raikou or a Hamster here, though, doesn't that just like stall you out for a little bit?
No, because I just attack with whatever. Like, it's fine. It doesn't stall me out because it's still neutral tempo. I'm trying to out tempo him and keep the pressure up. This is a game that, like, I think that I played this game better than I played any of the other games, honestly, because this is all the right play except for if you have fucking brain control, which the plant tech doesn't normally play brain control, and he sides it in against me, and I'm just like, okay, this fucks me up. But if he has anything, dude, if he has, trust me, this is the play. If he has anything but brain control, this wins the game immediately. They can't do anything about this. That deck can't do anything about this. Trust me, it's definitely the play, especially with Torrential. Like, oof. But this is really, I get mad. I call him a sack ass.
He has 4 like garbage cards in hand.
No,
like...
I think he has some number of garbage cards, and the rest of his cards get out tempoed by my hand.
I don't really think that's true. I think it might have been true.
You're definitely not. You're definitely not as experienced with this deck if you think that that's not the right play. You definitely herald the Gores. You don't sacrifice your tempo because you're not winning a long game against this deck. Like, they have 3 Avarice.
You might if you keep the herald.
No, you're not. Herald is best for catching a turn on tempo and putting them on the back foot. It's not good for playing advantage games. Honestly,
I like heralding the Gores in general. I just think that you had the ability to deal with Gores in other ways.
Trust me, it's always the right play. That's Here, fine. He makes a terrible play. He doesn't Raikou the bench.
Yeah, I don't know why he did.
Why the fuck did you not do that? Like, he hit my back row, but like, who cares?
It's like the same shit. Yeah, especially not like I just assumed, oh, he must have an out to the thing already, you know.
And then his draw is Dandelion, which is like
whether it's what? A Lone Fire into the Titanial or a Summon Botanical Lion, like, you know, like that was all stuff that I thought he could have to deal with this.
Yeah,
caused him to not pop it, but
but he ended up having the Dead Vanity's Fiend and Transmigration. Since the last game we played, I thought he brought this card in. He ends up playing it in a weird way this game. I thought he brought this card in to shuffle his Avarices back. So I thought that was the plan, but he ends up using it in such a weird way this game that I just don't understand. But we'll get to that. But this lets me play to my plan, which is backfoot him. Like, I have this Banisher, right? And he can't out it. And if I get him more damage here, now my Honest is looking pretty fucking good. Like, damage-wise, it's looking pretty fucking good.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this is hella good. He draws the Hamster, which is annoying. He does draw the Hamster.
Phenomenal draw.
That was actually probably the best draw in his deck. But I'm actually all right because he's at 2300. He's very low. So that means my brain control is lethal. My
Yeah. After him not Raikouing the Banisher, I was really just like, I mean, letting yourself get so low against any deck that plays Honest is a huge liability. So
yeah, it's huge. Now double Honest. Like, my second Honest is a lethal draw. My brain control is a lethal draw. Like, I have a lot of lethal draws, and this is okay for me because I think it puts me close to 4 fairies in grave, and I believe
2 or 3
for this game.
And he mills for Avarice.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And see, now you get kind of blown out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, this particular play is kind of a blowout because he just tributes the Raikou for the thing.
I actually was happy with this because, like, if he because this means that I can clear his Vanity's Fiend. He's not getting value out of his Vanity's Fiend, right? Vanity's Fiend is really bad when they summon it and attack over a recruiter. But when you're just playing it just to play it, it's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, you're just like playing a tribute monster for no value. It's like a summon skull. Eventually, you're going to get a 2-for-1 off that. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, I mean, you have fucking nothing, dude. Like, you just gotta rely on.
I don't have fucking
just
nothing,
relying
though.
on-
And the avarice is actually good because my hand was dead trap dust shoot, Alk, honest. Now my trap dust shoot
That's
is
true.
live.
I mean, the dust shoot being live, if he, I mean, yeah, I guess
Like,
the only thing he would set wave or
my
something.
hand actually gets really good here. I do say that I set the important traps first normally, but this is a big game, right? So I set Dust Tornado first here because I need to resolve. This is an awful mill for me. This is like the worst mill in my
Like,
deck.
I mean, I just don't see how, like, yeah, like I
He
get
lets
it.
this summon happen, and Transmigration's not on my radar, so I think he for sure has a deep prison. So I don't attack here.
Sure.
And
But all I was gonna say is like if you see him summon Vanity's Fiend there, I mean, I don't see how you can think that you're in a good position because either way, like the Honest is just trading with the Vanity's Fiend.
this game I have 3 Raikou, 3 DD Warrior Lady, 2, like I have so many outs to this. I also brought in the Smashings this game.
He's
I have so many
up
outs to
on
this.
you, and you can just get walled out. I mean,
Being
he just has
being
to have
up on me,
absolutely nothing.
being up on me when you're this low in life points doesn't matter. I will find a way out of it. Like this deck will find a way out of up, and you can also get advantage in other ways. Like, look at the activity, right? He has a dead Abris, dead Cyber Dragon, dead Cold Wave, dead Dandelion, which I send back, right? Look at my activity. All my cards are active. He only has 3 real cards in play. He has Torrential, Vanity's Fiend, Super Nimble. I have 4 real cards, right? I have Dust Tornado, Dimensional Alchemist, Trap Dust Shoot, and Honest. So I'm actually up. Like, theoretically, I am up. Like, if he makes the right
play here, you just lose.
What's the right play?
Cold Wave, Tribute Hamster for Cyber Dragon attack.
I have Honest.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I can just let it die, and then he's locked under wave, and I have DD Warrior Lady back, or I get another Alchemist back. That's a terrible play. Lock yourself under wave.
It just locks you down.
It doesn't lock me down under anything, at all. I'm actually chilling. I just get back DD Warrior Lady, and I'm fine, because I can DD Warrior Lady Honest over the Sidra, and then this Vanity's Fiend trades for the DD Warrior Lady. That's a terrible.
2 more draws. He sees 2 more draws.
He sees 1 more draw. It's a bad play. And Cold Wave shuts off your own Torrential. You're shutting off your own activity.
Even not waving, though. It's like, you could just summon it, swing.
I'd send back the Cyber Dragon, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Okay.
He can't
either way, I mean, he shouldn't attack here, also.
Why? He has Hamster to infinitely wall me. If this trades for a trap, it's going to trade for that trap at some point. Wasting the wave here is bad.
No, I'm not saying wave here after you send back the Cyber Dragon, but I don't think you should attack. Seems god awful. Because it's just risking you have.
I think his logic is he has no battle traps. So if I summon a monster, he's gonna have to Torrential anyway, and then I'm gonna get Dialk value, and then it's
but
here I'm like drawing live to a lot of shit, which is crazy to even think about.
You're drawing live to a lot of shit, but being in the position where you're like having to draw live to a lot of shit is not a good position.
I think it's a fucking great position. I don't want to play another long game like the last one. I think this game is like I have.
Regardless of what you want, it's like you're like 50-50ing every turn.
My deck has higher activity, and this is a huge gamble risk to take, but it's a gamble to play the game the other way too. You know what I mean? Like this is
totally. I get that, but
I'm playing the hand that I drew the best.
Arguing over whether it's a good or bad position, it's like, well, like
my position here is phenomenal. He has no active cards. All his cards are either reactive or inactive.
It's like, and he needs to draw his out. It's like a
what outs?
Even at best.
I have my boys. He wastes his transmigration here, which is to keep me off Christia, which I get it, because if I top deck Christia here, it's so fucking bad for him. Yeah, it's so fucking bad for him.
You mill the smashing.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, like that's just gonna happen.
No, it's not great. I mean, yeah, it's not the worst.
Yeah, I do draw the Herald, but I'm like I'm gonna wait 1 turn because I can't activate Brownic.
Sure, I mean, there's no need to do it there, but if you had the Urquiza's thing
here, because he waves and then sets Raikou, I'm like, Okay, that's a Raikou. Like, I know
It's
it's a
got to be
Raikou.
Raikou.
Yeah, I know it's a Raikou.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're at 1,000. I'm going to give you 2 draw steps. And this is what I'm talking about. He had inactive cards, and I had active cards, and I was the one putting on the pressure, and he was low. And
He
it didn't
used
matter what I
two of
drew.
his cards to do nothing, and he attacked for no reason.
Yeah, but if he didn't attack, he was losing the same way. Do you understand? Because he had no battle trap. I just attack over his guy, and then he's in the same position.
But it's just more turns. You attack over the token first. Like, do you swing into the Vanity's Fiend? Like,
James,
you know what I mean?
James, if you play this game 1,000 times, I guarantee you my line wins the majority. I guarantee
Dude,
you.
you just drew the cards. Like, I don't really like.
But those are the cards that are in my deck. I'm drawing live to Christia. I'm drawing
I know
live
you
to
have
everything.
live cards, but like, how can you say it's a good position when it's like you need to out what's on board and he's in a position? Like, look at his cards. Look at his.
I
deck.
had the out to
Debris,
vanities. I
tires.
had the out to vanities. All I had to do was just honesty.
I'm not saying the out to Vanities. I'm saying the out to Hamster.
I don't need an out to a
actually push
defense.
through damage to.
Dude, you don't need an out to a defense position monster. Most players
Okay,
think
but
that
look
you
at
do.
look
and you
at what
just
he has
fucking don't.
though. Caius, Debris, Quick Draw. Those are all like you know, any more stuff to stall. It's like any more stuff to stall is just more turns that you need to draw your own cards to out that. Like, I don't think. I don't know. I just like saying
So
that
this is
you're like
this is
happy with the position is insane.
I'm actually really happy with that position because like I know I have perfect information, right? I know he has either a deep prison or like a whatever trap, a bottomless or something. I don't know. He doesn't leave in bottomless that I found out, I guess, in the previous set. And also he uses transmigration and stuff. Like I was happy with that position because all of his cards are like non-threats. They don't accumulate advantage against me. They don't do anything to me. Like Hamster doesn't do anything to me. In order for his Hamster to do anything to me, it has to die. That's why I'm like, I don't care about that card. Like, and I'm up so much life points that if he plays a Caius, I'm still drawing pretty live. Like any recruiter is an out. Anything like most of my deck is an out. Christie is an out. Like the thing is, I have so many live draws and he doesn't. And this is where the fairy deck shines. Is that all of your cards are super active. Like their deck, a lot of their cards are like kind of like you have avarice. You have these slow cards, which in long games, yeah, those are amazing cards. But like, can you argue that the Transmigration Prophecy, Cold Wave, and Avarice like did fucking anything for him this game? No, they didn't do anything. Like,
okay, I can't argue that the Transmigration Prophecy would be in anyone's deck against a fairy deck, game 2 or 3. But
that's what anyway. I'm saying. Like I played my hand to that. Obviously, the brain control was really bad for me. But if he didn't have brain control, that line is the correct line 10 times out of 10. Like it's just the way to play this deck in that situation with my game plan. Like I played my game plan. I wasn't going to shift my game plan halfway through for no reason and then lose because my hand doesn't allow for that.
I just don't see how you can whatever, dude. I mean, like saying that you have a game plan before the game starts and you look at your cards and you're like, well, I'm playing this game plan. It's like, no, you have to look at the cards that you have.
Well, your configuration of your deck does contribute to your game plan. So yes, you do have a game plan before the game starts. And then I played the cards that I drew, which was that game plan.
Yeah, you play the cards this is my point. You just played the cards that you drew. Like it's not some like game plan tempo bullshit. It's like you know the cards that you have in your deck. You know the outs. I understand that you have outs to the cards on board.
Well, the tempo comes into play.
But it's like
tempo comes into play.
It's just whether you draw them or not, and you did draw them, and you won, and it's like that worked. But
yes, but tempo comes into play because he skipped his first normal summon. That's when I was talking about tempo. I'm not talking about tempo when he has Vanity's Fiend in play. I'm talking about tempo when he doesn't normal summon, and I can herald him off the gores and keep him off monsters for 2 turns. That's where the tempo came into play. That's where tempo mattered. He didn't summon a monster on the first turn of the game. That's where the tempo mattered. I was able to get him 4,000 points of damage, and then I was ahead the rest of the game, and he had to play back foot and play defense the entire game because of that. That's what tempo mattered. You see, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're missing that, or like if I'm not communicating that well, but anyway, this game, it starts off pretty interesting. He has three Typhoon effects, double Raikou, full house. I don't remember how this game goes. It's kind of like a flash.
You just banish your trade with all his Raikous because he draws multiple, and then you just have more normal summons than him, from what I remember. I mean, like, you have the banisher here, and you don't summon it.
That was bad. I should have.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that. But
okay, here's my.
I mean, I guess you were just afraid of deep prison, and like you would rather not risk it and trade off your normal summon.
and like have the Banisher stick later, but I don't really see it.
I think what I should have done was DD Warrior Lady attack. Because
Bait a prison.
this is just a terrible play. This loses to Caius. This loses to all sorts of stuff. This is a really bad play. I should have either DD Warrior Lady attack or Banisher attack. Banisher, I want to try to guarantee that my Banisher goes to grave. So
Yeah, you want the Banisher to stick, and one Raico's already gone, so it's like, I don't know.
I also saw a double dust, so I'm thinking like
right. It's more
statistically
likely the fact was real, but it's only the one other prison. And
well, I don't know that till this turn, right? Or did I know that already? I don't know.
You knew that already.
I knew that already. Yeah.
Well, wait,
yeah.
maybe,
I should have.
Yeah.
I should have attacked with DD Warrior Lady.
Swing. I think I would just risk the Banisher at that point.
Well, the problem is, okay, Banisher swing, all right, and then my DD Warrior Lady has to honest. It kind of pigeonholes me into this play so that my soul gets active. But
well, if you're DD Warrior Lady attack, I mean, you're not banishing the trooper, right?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here, but this is the wrong play. Either way, I should have killed it main phase, but this is like fatigue for sure. Like the last game, I was like riding a high because I killed him with Bionic like miraculously, and then yeah, this just worked out for no reason. It didn't really work out actually.
Yeah, it just trades off, and I mean, your Banisher is like not really any more likely to stick now than it was the turn before, you know. So
yeah.
It's just the same, and now he's double.
It's just the same, yeah.
Dandy Cyber Dragon.
This does give me 2 lights engrave, but it's still like
for sure. Yeah, it's not like you're not in bad position. I mean, he's drawing kind of weird, and I mean, like Cyber Dragon is kind of a weird card in the plant deck in some of these situations when like you're bogged down with normal summons and you want to play kind of reactively, but it's like this fast tempo card that you sometimes can't take advantage of. Like if you look at the configuration that he sided into, it's like double Cyber Dragon, double Vanity Fiend, double Caius.
Double Botanical Lion as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you have like half your deck that's like summon spamming basically and like tempoing them. Then the other half of your deck is like Dead Pot of Avarices.
Yeah, it's like stuff you want to chill out on. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a conflicting game plan within the deck. Which I get because Botanical Lion can also play that sort of wall role, but Vanity Fiend and Cyber Dragon don't really play the wall role very well because of Chimera Attack, honestly. And yeah.
I get it, and it kind of worked out surprisingly, but that's just like a conflicting thing I've had when like as much as we talk about like Cyber Dragon being great and all these different side decks, like it in these like decks that seek to maintain board presence, it's like not as good.
Yeah, but like look at this. Yeah, like do you set a Dandelion here? Then the tokens, exactly. You have to sack a token for a Cyber Dragon.
To normal summon a yeah, exactly. It's like it's hard, but
it ain't easy out here. But he does end up doing it.
I would almost be tempted to not.
Yeah, it's like
keep it in hand.
It doesn't really matter. I would have made this play either way, which is summon the soul and attack. And the reason I made this play is, you know, I see 2 Avarice is gone. So most things that get, and if it's like a set like Hamster, this gets over Hamster.
Sure.
This also trading for Raikou is not the worst thing in the world because then I still have Nova Honest Herald. I can Herald Raikou and have Honest Soul still. So it's like,
yeah. If he Kaises you back, you still have Nova. It's like keeping the Nova in hand makes sense there.
If he Kaises me, I'm actually just heralding 10 times out of 10.
Okay.
Because my game plan now is that this Soul of Purity Light's going to win me the game.
Okay.
Or at least that's like what I'm thinking. Now it's a little different. I'm probably thinking I let the Caius resolve. And then...
But I don't think you have any more lights.
Oh, I don't have any more lights. Never mind. I'm heralding Caius.
But you could yeah, I mean, you could still let it resolve, like set Nova and do stuff like that. But,
yeah. This Soul of Purity Light card is really good pressure. It also can't be attacked over by Cyber Dragon, which makes the Cyber Dragon look even more awkward than it was before.
Now, here you just go in, right? You summon the other thing?
No, I just keep going. I wait till he summons Titanial and I use the Honest. Yeah, here...
I mean, why not summon another guy there if you're flooded with guys? The Mirror Force is gone.
He still has Torrential.
You're risking the Torrential, but is that just okay? I mean, it's like...
I don't know.
Multiple more things to normal summon, and it would...
I think risking the Torrential is an interesting play. I think that you could make an argument for it. Yes. I
And
think
like one dandelion's already gone, so it's like
summoning a shining angel
torrential.
here is whatever. Here's how I want to use these cards. One of these recruiters I want to summon. Do I want to summon it on that turn? Maybe. I don't actually know. I haven't really thought about that. But I definitely want to get value out of the Freed if possible. I want to get value out of the Honest if possible. And then one of these recruiters is getting pitched to Herald at some point. Like
Right.
that's how
I
I'm
mean,
looking
that's
at
true.
this hand. Like I have four effects with this hand, right? I might have five if I'm lucky. I can maybe like crash recruiter, get a second honest or something. But in general, I have four effects with this hand, and
Yeah.
I think at the time I was thinking these four effects, I torrential's really bad for me, and a second dandelion wasn't totally out of the radar, and neither was Sangan. So I was like,
Sure.
torrential's really bad for me, but I don't know.
I mean, torrential plus one of those cards would be really bad for you. Torrential just in general is not that bad for you.
Yeah, torrential in general is just whatever. But he's almost out of Rykos. He's already out of Botanical Lion. It would literally
Yeah.
be like it's like a 50-50 between Dandy Sangan or Hamster Ryko. And I was just like,
Yeah.
uh
In
e-
combination with the torrential.
yes, in combination with torrential. So I was like, let's just play it safe. I top deck knock, which is actually a good draw. Which means that like now any sort of like set anything is like
I mean, we skipped over it kind of, but him going Titanial, which I think was basically his only play,
yeah.
and attacking into the Honest. Like, I guess he has to risk that. I mean, anything else is still a losing position. If he had the torrential, I feel like maybe just playing a little more passively is fine. But
Here I believe he doesn't have the torrential, or he might have the torrential.
no,
I'm
he
still
had the
kind of
torrential. He had the torrential even the turn we were talking about him having the torrential. He just didn't set it.
yeah.
But just that Honest is like game losing, like straight up, like that fucks him.
Yeah, and this is another argument for just not having Titanial in post board. You have Botanical Lion, so your Lone Fires do get something real. But Titanial against this deck is only ever gonna be bad. Like it doesn't really stop Honest DD Warrior Lady. Like I guess it
I
can
guess.
get over Raikou sometimes, but it's just like it's a horrible draw. Like
Yeah, I'd have to test him more, I
I
guess.
think if you're
Anyway,
siding in the lines, you definitely want to side out Titanial against this deck. Anyway, point being, he set Sangan here, and I did get really lucky and draw the knock, and now I'm like, for some reason, after seeing set Dandelion, set Sangan, I'm like, he's got to have torrential, and
yeah,
for
now that he actually set the torrential,
yes,
I wouldn't summon into it.
yeah, and here I set the book, and then I'm like, oh, it wasn't his original set. I could have done it earlier, but I'm like, well, maybe the new one is torrential. We'll just keep
Yes.
playing the game.
I think now that's a fine assumption to make, and also like you had more turns to draw Storm now, and
So here's a really a fatigue thing happens. He normal summons twice in the same turn. And
right. Okay, this is the turn. Yeah.
yeah,
So he debris, you herald it, then he goes Cyber Dragon, summon Vandy, swing over.
but
And
he had
as
already
anyone,
summoned debris, yeah.
he summoned the debris.
Yeah.
And so we rewind, which I think is correct. I mean, you end up revealing the free draw, but
I would have liked to play the game from this point. Because I think in paper tournaments, this is often how it's ruled. It's just like if it's irreversible, if information has been received, if cards have been drawn, you can't reverse it. That's what I've heard.
yes,
If cards have been drawn, you don't
sometimes it's
reverse
true.
it.
Yes,
So I was like,
and yeah,
but that's how I would have liked to have it played. But they were like, no, you have to reverse it. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And then it informs him on my hand, my outs to Vanity's Fiend. I don't like this at all. Like this makes me really mad. This makes me really upset. This is,
but
I tilt
there's
really
no,
hard
I
from
mean,
this.
like you. It's not like he had any other play to make.
He? Well,
He
just
had any other.
now he summoned Cyber Dragon, but now he knows that I'm gonna commit Freed, which is just like, and I know he doesn't have Torrential because I'm thinking maybe he Torrentials if I go Freed priority. Maybe he chains Torrential to
Right.
kill the Freed. Like if his guy's gonna die anyway. So I'm thinking maybe he doesn't have Torrential. So this is why this is so fucking frustrating to me because like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could affect that. Yeah, sure.
and I'm just like,
But
bro, and now he knows
from
this
his
is my
position,
only
it's
out
like,
to
well,
Vanity's
it's like
Fiend.
the same play, you know. I don't know.
I actually I would not have like made this same play. I would have like held the Freed if that whole thing hadn't happened. You know what I mean? Like I would have
What do you
just
mean? What would you have done instead? Because you said that too, and I just didn't know what would you have done instead?
I probably would have
Just pass?
summoned the Shining Angel and tried to crash it.
And for
DD Warrior Lady.
huh?
That's what I would have done. And then
But are
I
you
still
saying
have the
that knowing he
freed.
has the vanity in hand?
No, no, I'm saying I would have kept the freed because I don't play freed into no advantage. I want to get a +1 off of it. You know what I mean? Like, so I would have held it, and also the angel play is just better for me positionally. I could also get like a Dialk. I could get a lot of shit. I could have even gotten like whatever, like a herald, and like made
But
a
like,
synchro monster. Like I could have done a
well,
lot
I
of
mean,
cool shit.
Angel is also a lot better. I mean, you would definitely trade off the angel here if you knew he had the vanity.
Even if I don't know he
I
has,
also
even if I don't know he has the vanity, I'm still keeping freed because it's more damage. It's a faster clock. So, or maybe it's not a faster clock, but it's like a faster clock through certain things. It doesn't end up super duper mattering. I also
why'd you torrential there?
why did I torrential the lone fire? Because I can't attack over it with Shining Angel, and I know he has vanities.
Can't you just torrential the vanity?
Yeah, that's a fatigue play. That's definitely a fatigue play too.
Well,
But
yeah,
I wanted to get
well,
in.
I
I was
think
like,
maybe you didn't have
damage.
it out to it, but
I need to attack. I need to attack. So
that was one that I was like, okay.
that was definitely terrible. Oh, we don't need to talk about
I
that.
mean, it does end the game faster for sure.
He fucking top decks Gores. Like,
Yeah, I love this.
This is
I
such
love
bullshit.
this moment.
I should have attacked with Dialk first, but this lets me kill the token at least, so he can't like.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think you should attack Dialk first.
And I believe I missed lethal at some point. I don't know if switch Dialk is right. I don't know.
Yeah, that I wasn't exactly sure about either.
I probably could have
what's he
even
grave right now?
freed Soul
Yeah, you have
Honest.
to call now.
I can't call under Vanity's Fiend.
Right. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. My bad.
Yeah. So that would be nice. So here I do hit the Honest, and this is where I miss lethal, right, or something. This is some really messy gameplay. This game 3, I don't like watching it because this is not how I would normally play this shit.
We didn't know. Okay, so two things here. I mean, we were watching and we didn't know you had the angel, and like because also the way you were playing a couple of the prior turns, but yeah, I mean, if you had any other light monster here, you can go Alk Crash into the Vanity's Fiend, and he's used all his prisons, all his mirror forces, also.
Yeah. Yeah, he's used both prison and mirror force. I could even just Raikou pop the back row, just to be safe.
Well, I'm saying even the turn prior instead of setting the Raikou. If he has the back row, I would consider setting the Raikou instead. But
either way, this is just fucking wrong. Either way, this is just missing lethal.
Could be Raikou, so it's like I would probably just go for it and just summon the angel, out crash, get back to honest, angel attack over the vanities, and that would be game. But instead. Yeah, and then now this turn, kind of the same thing. You could Raikou the back row.
And just attack and crash into Vanity's Fiend, kill him with Honest.
Yeah, either the Cyber Dragon or the Angel.
So I miss lethal 2 turns in a row. We don't...
And, okay,
whatever.
Also here, he sends back the Vanity's Fiend. I think you should have sent back the Cyber Dragon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He messed this up super... I was, like, not going to say anything in the chat, but I was, like, in my brain, I was, like, screaming. I was like, dude, why are you not sending back Cyber Dragon? Like, that just wins this game. Like, I was like, oh, shit. So he actually makes a Black Rose here. And this is a good turn for me because he also misses what would be lethal.
This is a good turn for you.
He tries to make Junk Archer with a 1 star.
So there's like 3 things wrong here. First off, he can just pass.
He can just do nothing.
He can just switch Black Rose defense and pass. He can also
set Hamster or something. He could do whatever he wants, dude.
He could set Hamster. He could tribute the Jujutsu for quick draw, make a drill, banish the drill, discard Hamster, although that leaves him open to like a smashing ground.
I think the reason he's doing it, I have 4 fairies in grave. So and I have 1 Christia left in my deck. So I get why he's doing this. And I'm out of Honests. So I get why he's doing this. Like putting stuff in defense, like, and then I draw a Christia, like, then your quick draw is dead.
If he floats the drill, it's game next turn.
No, because drill doesn't come back under Christia.
Well, yeah, okay, if you draw the Christia, but I mean, there's no play that he can make that is strong against that.
But attacking this is just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
At this point, it's just like kind of over because now it's the same position as 3 or 4 turns ago, where it's like you just crash the thing. You have no
Yeah.
light at this point. So
So
unless he said is like specifically book.
we both miss like some pretty big shit here. Like we both fuck up.
Yeah.
A lot. And that's just
Agreed.
fatigue. This is like not. It's not a pretty. We said at the beginning of this
was a
video.
crazy game.
We said at the beginning of this video. This is not a pretty. There's some really questionable shit in this
ugly game.
But let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Is there anything we need to tell him, James? Other than that?
No.
GG's, Jazz. You played like a fucking beast. Peace out, everybody.